Okay, so we got another dusty case. I wonder what's inside. Let's take a look. Okay, so I just restrung this customer's SG, and this is the second one that he brought in for a restring. And looks like we've got a Fender Strat, and she's nice and dirty. It's the Squire II, made in Korea, I'm assuming. And so we're going to clean this thing up. We're going to check the electronics. The customer is saying that you know, we got scratchy pots, and the selector switch isn't working quite right. And I'm going to imagine that's because of the dust. So out here in Arizona, we get a lot of dust, and it takes its toll on guitars. Alright, so to spray these out, we got to pull the strings off of here because we got to restring it anyhow. Okay, so then I'll lift the whole pick guard up. We'll spray these out because it seems like the wiring is okay. It's just dusty. So let's clean this thing up. Let's pull these strings off. These Squire IIs, they're cool guitars. They got good necks on them. We've got some humbucker single. We got cool knobs on them, made in Korea. Which is cool. They make great guitars there. Go ahead and get these strings off of here. And wow, I gotta show you guys the fretboard on this thing, because this guitar looks like it's been played a lot, and it kind of looks like Tom Petty's guitar, where he would clean the frets but never clean the fretboard. And wow, there's a lot of DNA on the fretboard. The frets looks like they could be leveled and crowned. Somebody's loved this guitar. Long time love. But, you know, my job is to just restring it, so I gotta clean some of this up though. I can't live with it all dirty like that. So let me continue on with some cleanup, and we'll get these strings off of here. Now there's some guys that don't want their, you know, Tom Petty, I mentioned him. He used to tell his guitar tech, don't clean all the dirt off the fretboard. It's okay to leave the dirt, you know, it's okay to clean the frets, but don't clean the fretboard, because I like the look of all that dirt and grime and everything on my fretboard. Okay, so we got a back plate here that only has 2 screws in it. So we'll get this back plate off, and I might have some screws, so our ground wire is still on there, which is good. Go ahead and get these strings out of here. There we go. Okay, since I'm back here, I'll go ahead and take a little bit of my cleaner. Furniture polish is what I'm using, and that's just to get the top layer of dirt. I'm not going to spend too much time back here. We'll just shine it up a little bit. Wow, it's on there thick. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead, pull the pick guard off. Alrighty, now let's lift this up and see if we can get under here now. Doesn't seem like that ground wire. It's not giving me much room to get to this stuff. There we go. Cool guitar. Still got all the original electronics in it. I'm gonna go ahead and plug it back in. Make sure I have my safety glasses on and spray these babies out. Alright, so I noticed that the screw that's holding the pickup right here, this humbucker, is missing. Now the spring is still sitting here, but the screw is completely gone. And this might be hard to find a screw that fits in here, but let me see if I can find a screw to go in here. Okay, they all seem to be functioning nicely now. It just, you know, so much dust. Dust gets into stuff. We live in a very dusty city out here in Arizona. And so, you know, I see guitars from, you know, different places that are very humid. And all the screws on them are rusty. If you get something that was in Japan for a long time, all these screws are rusted. In Arizona, we sort of have the opposite problem. A lot of stuff doesn't usually get too rusty, but the wood dries out. I've had 2 used guitars in my shop, and over the spring and summer, I've had 2 guitars that have gotten top cracks as far as acoustics. And a lot of them do that where they crack, but it's a little disheartening. And of course, one of them was a Firefly acoustic, and it ended up with the top crack. So it's a little disheartening sometimes, but you know, what are you going to do? I could get a humidifier and plug it in over there under all my acoustics. I know a lot of guitar shops will do that. So I was able to find a tip to go on here on the 5-way switch. And it's nice and white. It doesn't really match too closely, but it does match the pickguard, so I think he'll appreciate having that on there. Okay, I got some lemon oil. And I'm going to put on the fretboard. Ernie Ball Super Slinkies. Today's string choice, 9 through 42. For a Stratocaster, these are my favorite strings. I sell a lot of them. And man, Ernie Ball has really stepped up their game as far as variations of these strings. They got 7 gauge, 8 gauge, 9 gauge, 9.5 gauge, 10 gauge, 10.5 gauge, 11s and 12s, and just every different type of string gauge sets that you can think of. Ernie Ball sells them. I'm actually wearing my Ernie Ball t-shirt today. The Ernie Ball t-shirts, man, they're super cool to have. And I called my sales rep last week and was trying to get more t-shirts to sell. And they've actually sold out because of that NAMM show. They're sold out of shirts. But I'll eventually get some. So if you guys come into the store, hopefully I'll have a nice selection of Ernie Ball t-shirts. I do have t-shirts from Fender here in the shop that are brand new. Ordered them direct from Fender. And I do have a lot of my ZIMM'S Guitars t-shirts that I have available too. And so if you come in the store, you can grab yourself a ZIMM'S Guitars t-shirt. Or if you're watching this video and you want to support the shop and support me and my son, we're the only two that work here. It's a father and son store. If you want to help us out, you can go down in the description of this video and there will be a link you can click on that takes you to Teespring. So you can get yourself a ZIMM'S Guitars t-shirt. I've had a lot of compliments on the logo. It's a cool shirt. They only come in black, of course, because black is by far the coolest t-shirt color. But yeah, help us out and go on Teespring and buy a t-shirt. So far so good, it's stringing up quickly. Okay, so looking back here, got all the strings on it, and on a normal sort of restring setup, I would put if he doesn't have his whammy bar in the case. There's no whammy bar, and he's got his claw completely decked. So he doesn't have any intentions on using the whammy bar on this thing, because again, he's got it completely decked. So if it was my guitar, I would loosen this back up. I'd put a whammy bar in it. I'd get it set up so your wiggle stick would work. But he's doesn't have that going on right there. So I'm just going to go right ahead and put this back plate back on, and don't over torque them, because these old plastic stuff. It's brittle, and it'll snap the corner off like this one was. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now one more thing that I'm gonna do, just to get a little bit of the dirt off here, I'm gonna use some Windex just to get the dirt off. And you guys can leave it in the comments what you think about this Windex. Half of you guys are going to be like, oh my God, don't do that. Now I'll spray a little bit of my Fender Mist and Wipe Finish Enhancer on here. Kind of sprayed kind of a lot. And then we'll clean this up. I always spend a lot of time shining instruments up, and hopefully, I don't know, there are a couple of those guys that want their guitars to look old and dusty, and I'm always the kind of guy that cleans everything up, so hopefully I don't piss anybody off by cleaning their guitar up to where, you know, the customer's like, why'd you do all that? I would never pull somebody's sticker off. A lot of guys put stickers on their guitars. And so it's stuff like that. You definitely leave stuff like that alone. But if it's just dusty and dirty, I'll shine that up. Okay, so I got another case that I just want to clean the dust off. It's nothing that I'm getting paid to do. It's something that I just, you know, if I spend a few minutes, not even minutes, a few seconds wiping the case down, it's going to make my customer very happy. Hopefully, you know, there's once in a while there's a couple of strange guys in the world that doesn't want anything to be clean. But I have a neighbor like that. But hopefully he won't mind, and he will really appreciate that this case, it's a nice case. Hopefully he'll appreciate that I got a bunch of dust off of it. And it's going to make his guitar look really, really nice. Because these were some dusty ass guitars, these last two. But you gotta keep your guitars out of the dust, and it really helps with the electronics by keeping them out of the dust. There you go, look at these. He's got the old packs that soak up any moisture. He's got some really cool old school Epiphone Doritos guitar picks in there. But there it is, another happy customer. Thank you guys for watching.